Good evening. Thank you all for joining us today. You're unfortunately going to hear my voice for a little longer than you'd want, occasionally. But thank you. Thank you again for joining us. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island peoples joining us here this evening. My name is Rehan de Almeida, whether you know me or not. I'm the CEO of FinTech Australia, the Peak Industry Association representing the FinTech community. So who is FinTech Australia? We're the peak industry and advocacy body. Our key role here is to advocate for the FinTech industry with all the stakeholders, with government, with policymakers, regulators, and ensure that we are representing and promoting innovation, competition, and choice for consumers and businesses. A key part of that, of course, is us helping support the community, bring the community together, enable networking, enable more collaboration, and enable more partnerships. So really grateful to have all of you here today, including banks, including lots of fintechs, and including a delegation from Indonesia. So welcome all. So tonight, of course, I would like to thank our sponsors, Investment New South Wales. We'll hear from Investment New South Wales shortly, and Vanta. Vanta, unfortunately, is not here, so a quick spiel about what they do, if you don't know. Vanta automates compliance for global frameworks like ISO 27001 and SOC2, and the latest Australian frameworks like the CPS 234, Essential 8, saving you time and money while helping you build customer trust. Over 10,000 global companies like Atlassian, Basic, Indebted, Loan Options AI, and Beta Shares use Vanta to manage compliance and prove security in real time. We're also hosting a webinar with them on CPS 230 regulatory changes. What a fun topic, I know. We're also grateful to have the support of COBA, the Customer-Owned Banking Association, Sean, there you are, who continue to champion innovation in the sector. And of course, a big thank you to the participating banks, Beyond Bank, Citi, and X15 Ventures, part of CommBank, for participating in this year's edition of the Reverse Banking Pitch. So we've had incredible success with the last two editions of the Reverse Banking Pitch. What we understand is one of the consistent challenges we hear from the fintechs is the difficulty in accessing opportunities to partner with banks. And likewise, banks also often struggle to find the right solutions quickly in a rapidly evolving market. This event helps bridge that gap. And the outcomes from the last events is testament to the mission of this event. So last event, we had Westpac launch 2 pilots with Kogo. ANZ announced partnerships and pilots with Vigilant Pay, Greener, and Shape. None of these companies paid me to endorse them. And Citi will soon be announcing their pilots as well. It's been incredible to see the support for this initiative, not just locally, but internationally, and I'm excited to see what new collaborations and ideas emerge from this year's edition of the event. Tonight's program will begin with a presentation from the Investment New South Wales, sharing insights on how they're supporting innovation in the region. Following that, each of our participating banks will be presenting their problem statements, and I believe this will be a quick, short, sweet presentation so that you have the opportunity to network and connect with the banks. We'll be avoiding Q&A, but if you have any questions, please reach out to them directly. And there's also the website where you'd be putting up your presentations. There's a way for you to contact us if you have any questions, and we'll share it with the relevant banks. Pretty straightforward for those who have participated in the past. You know the drill. If for those who haven't, go onto the website. It's pretty straightforward, or reach out to me or the FinTech Australia team, and we'd be happy to help. And we'll, of course, close the evening with drinks, networking drinks, which is why we're all here, right? Thank you again. I, of course, encourage you to make the most of tonight. Ask questions, reach out to the team, connect, make new connections. This is the opportunity to collaborate and network. We have plenty of banks in the room as well, not just the presenting banks. So, please move around and network as well. Next, I'd like to officially kick off this evening and welcome Amber Stanley, Director of Industry and Investment at Investment New South Wales. There you go. Thank you.
I think I got up a bit too early. Thanks, Rehan. Good evening. Thanks for the introduction, Rehan, and to FinTech Australia for inviting me to say a few words. I'm thrilled to see that we're back here again after supporting the inaugural event last February. Fintechs thrive on solving everyday challenges, and pitching ideas directly to our financial institutions is an effective way to find creative solutions to address local and international issues. Last year, we worked with FinTech Australia to bring local and international fintechs to New South Wales. This year, we've expanded the opportunity to work with Beyond Bank Australia, as Rehan said, Citi and X15 Ventures, making this a significant initiative with global reach. As banking customers, we all know we face a range of advantages from the adoption of new technologies, but also threats. A very real example, and a personal one for me actually, is the targeting and financial abuse of the elderly. I have a close family member in the UK who was targeted through a very sophisticated campaign and lost a substantial portion of his life savings. And we probably have all heard these stories or have been impacted personally. And these are just one example of real world problems that fintechs are so well placed to help our biggest financial institutions address. Working together to solve challenges like this will help reshape our financial landscape, improving the resilience of the financial sector, empowering customers, and maintaining confidence in our institutions. We warmly welcome trailblazing startups here in New South Wales and those from abroad to bring the brightest minds and innovative ideas to the table. Collaboration is key, and this is where Investment New South Wales can help. The fintech sector, if you don't know, is a $45 billion industry in Australia, underpinned by a highly skilled and multilingual technology workforce and an advanced $10 trillion financial services sector that invests in innovative solutions. Australia is also known as a tech-literate population, with almost 2/3 of digitally active adults using fintech products in Australia. This makes Australia a perfect testbed for new products and solutions. The New South Wales Government is helping the sector grow, cementing Sydney as the fintech hub of Australia. And for our international visitors joining us today, Sydney is ranked 11th globally as a fintech hub. New South Wales also takes the lion's share of fintechs across the country, with 60% of Australian fintech startups based right here in New South Wales. Just last month, Investment New South Wales supported the release, okay, ready, it's a big name of a report, let's see if I get it right, of Cut Through Ventures' New South Wales Venture Capital Report, which found that our startup ecosystem announced $2.6 billion in funding in 2024, which is an 18% increase from 2023 and the third highest year on record. The data reveals that New South Wales is the place for entrepreneurs and innovators to grow, with New South Wales accounting for 65% of total funding announced nationally and 49% of all reported deals. That's a pretty good record. Even better, FinTech led 2024 both nationally and within New South Wales as the top sector raising the highest capital. Across Australia, the fintech landscape announced an impressive $947 million, far surpassing other sectors. And this sector not only thrives domestically, but is outward facing as well. Aussie fintechs have successfully expanded into international markets, bolstered by foreign investment. A well-known example is the acquisition of Afterpay by Block for $39 billion in 2021, highlighting the global appeal for our fintech innovations. Investment New South Wales plays a vital role in fostering entrepreneurs through our startup and scale-up hubs and leading innovation districts such as Tech Central. If you're not familiar with Tech Central, it actually spans across 6 neighbourhoods in Sydney and brings high-growth startups, scale-ups, global tech giants, venture capitalists, world-leading universities, 150 research organisations and the community together. The output of this agglomeration melting pot is a $42 billion innovation ecosystem, which includes the global headquarters of 5 Australian unicorns with a combined market value of $140 billion US. It's no wonder that the district attracts around $1.3 billion in early stage funding each year. Last year, the New South Wales Government renewed its commitment to Tech Central, and Investment New South Wales is developing an economic development strategy to unlock the district's future potential to empower the innovation ecosystem, including fintechs, and making it a leading place to live, work and play. Block, for example, is one of the 2 current anchor tenants within the district, joined by Atlassian, who are building their headquarters just by Central Station. Just late August, Block opened a new flagship office in Chippendale, which is part of the district. Right here in the Sydney Startup Hub, this is also another New South Wales government initiative, and it celebrated its 7th birthday recently, playing an integral role in supporting the growth of the startup ecosystem in New South Wales. The Sydney Startup Hub will also relocate to Tech Central so that our startups can be co-located with like-minded businesses, global tech giants, VC firms, and have access to over 160,000 students and industry-ready talent that are in the district. Innovation is a priority for the New South Wales Government, and we recently released the New South Wales Innovation Blueprint, which sets a 10-year ambitious plan to set New South Wales on a path to being the best place to innovate. This includes supporting the state's innovation system through a dedicated strategy, funding affordable spaces, talent development, and global investment attraction into New South Wales. Investment New South Wales also runs the Minimum Viable Product Ventures program, which provides grants to support startups and SMEs to drive the commercialisation of highly innovative new products. Applications for 2025 open on the 1st of July, and we encourage you to go to the Investment New South Wales website if you're interested in applying. In closing, the New South Wales Government believes that technology and innovation are pivotal to reshaping our future industries, solving challenges, driving productivity and improving outcomes for the people of New South Wales. Investment New South Wales is proud to support cross-collaboration between financial institutions and the startup ecosystem to achieve these goals. We can achieve more by working together, both here in New South Wales and across borders too. I would like to commend FinTech Australia, Beyond Bank Australia, Citi and X15 Ventures on supporting fintechs and continuing to propel innovation in the financial services sector. Last year, as Rehan said, we had some incredible outcomes. And in addition into the 2 pilot products, we also had 12 proof of concepts being explored with the participating banks. I look forward to seeing the outcomes this year. It's been a pleasure to join you this evening. If you'd like to learn more about Investment New South Wales, I've got some colleagues in the back. You might want to wave your hands. Please go and chat to them at the end and they'll be able to help you. Thank you so much and have a great evening.
That is Amber indirectly saying that she'll be leaving quite soon. But thank you, New South Wales, for your support. Just reiterating some of what you've said, FinTech, of course, plays an extremely important part in addressing the cost of living pressures, in enabling and more productivity. So, and of course, enabling more innovation and competition. So this is extremely important. We're really passionate about the space and we want to continue supporting the ecosystem, and that's why I have a job. Moving on with my lame jokes, I'd like to welcome Stevie Ann DeVico, Chief Information Officer at Beyond Bank.
Thank you. Oh, I think there's a... Now I've taken your mic. Do you want this mic? It's okay. Okay, cool. Well, I was told, or maybe I told graduates many, many years ago, like a fast pitch is a good pitch. And I know I don't want to keep everyone from drinks and or questions. I'm told we're not allowed to take questions here, so if we have questions, come find me after. Or if they're really technical, Michael over there is my head of architecture. I brought him here for reinforcement. So I'm a massive fan of seeking really broad support to solve tricky problems. In the banking industry, I mean, no one take offence who's worked in banks. I've been in banking for 20 years, but we tend to drink our own water a little bit. And so, I'd like to get the brightest minds to come and help solve some of our most critical problems. For us, one of the biggest problems is how we prevent financial abuse and fraud in carer-managed finances, especially as a kind of mutual bank. Our demographic tends to skew a little older, so that's a really important problem for us specifically. Before I get into sort of the nuts and bolts of the problem, I'll talk to you a little bit about Beyond Bank because that will be helpful. It's not a big four bank. and the mutual industry is slightly different. So in Sydney, we're probably not as widely known as we are, say, in Adelaide, Canberra or WA, but we are a national brand. We have 40 branches across the country. And then the mutual sector more broadly is made up of mutual banks, credit unions, building societies and the like. We are APRA regulated, so same regulation applies to all banks, whether you're big or small, regardless of scale. And there's about 60 mutuals in Australia. Sean, you can tell me if I'm getting these stats wrong. So which is quite a lot on a global scale. Like, I think Australia is probably one of the bigger mutual conglomerates in the world. So I think there's about in total 4 million customers and about 150 billion in assets that are managed by the mutual industry. Most of that business is really centres around retail lending, but the biggest difference I think in the mutual sector is really that the banks are customer owned, so we don't have shareholders, and all the profits sort of go back into the business to build the business or come back with better rates for customers and those sort of things. Beyond Bank is one of the bigger customer mutual banks in the sector. So we have about 350,000 customers and about 10 billion under management, and about 800 people working for us across the country. And so the problem we're keen to solve, or to have people help us solve, is really how, as I said, how do we prevent financial abuse and or fraud in care and managed finances. Financial abuse occurs really when someone misuses money or financial resources or property or assets without the owner's explicit knowledge or consent. So that's the official definition. And this can happen to anyone. But really the most vulnerable people are the elderly people, people with disabilities, mental illnesses, and those who are socially isolated. The financial abuse itself can take many forms. So it can be fraud, forgery, forced changes to, say, a will, unusual transfers of money. We get that's probably the thing that we're probably in the banks you'll see more of, or unusual transfers of property, withholding funds, and also failure to repay loans. And this is particularly important to us, as I said, at Beyond Bank, because our demographic tends to skew a little bit older. The great majority of our customers are well into their sort of 60s, and therefore are more likely to be candidates of care managed finance arrangements. The current banking and regulatory frameworks don't really support this setup adequately. Often this sort of forces carers to into precarious situations, such as using cash or transferring money into their own account so that they can pay for the personal banking or perform the role of the carer, which creates risk for the carers themselves, but also creates risk for the bank. So we're really keen to solve this sort of tricky situation. We're keen to advocate for a really robust solution that safeguards both the carers and the individuals that they support. And we're really looking for innovative solutions to solve for this problem. So I won't take any more of your time, but if you've got questions, please come after the presentations and have a chat to me. But thanks for being part of the event.
Short and sweet, thank you. These slides will also be available on the website, so I'm sorry if you have missed the slides. You can. Oh, good. Oh, good. Thanks, Devian. Moving on, I'd like to welcome Omar Anzur, Head of Public Sector Banking at Citi.
Good evening, everyone. It's fantastic to be here with a room full of innovators and problem solvers. Today, I want to tackle a challenge that we see across governments, across corporates, across insurance, everywhere. And it's how to move money seamlessly across. Let me break it down and simplify it. Imagine you have a piggy bank. You own a piggy bank, and that piggy bank has some kind of payments. And you want to send payments to your friends that they also have piggy banks. And your friends are based in Singapore, Hong Kong, India. But there are different forms of payments, so you cannot transfer the money. So how do you develop this that is seamless so everyone can send payments together? So that's one of the things that we want to talk about today. Now, I'll go through, these are pretty wordy banking slides, but essentially everyone has choices of how they can pay: ACH, wires, real-time payments, cards, and the traditional models are really clunky. You got to have paperwork, approvals, compliance. It takes days. You don't even know, did it get there? So this presents an opportunity for innovative fintechs to come up with a solution that can streamline this whole process, streamline KYC, just do the onboarding really simply. Citi does have a solution for this. It's very US-centric. It's Citi Payment Exchange, which does it, but APAC is much more complex, fragmented. How do we get out there to do this? So what are some of the challenges? Fragmented payment markets in Asia, like everyone was just in China, it operates differently than Singapore or we were just talking, but Hong Kong and other places. So how do you kind of build a payment that consolidates all that? Consumers, and businesses, they want faster, safer, personalized, and secure payments. So there's a lot of manual, and as Beyond Bank talked about, fraud and compliance risk. So we want something that really encapsulates all that solution. So what is our problem statement? How do we deliver a seamless payment platform that consolidates multiple payment rails, recipient preferences, KYC, and onboarding? First in Hong Kong and then across APAC. And these are some of the recipient onboarding criteria that we have. It's got to be an API first structure, so we can plug and play into Citi's infrastructure. So we're looking for fintechs that we can partner with, co-create, and take our solutions to the next level. And with that, I'm going to open up with my colleague, Stacy and Robert, talk about another critical area that we're addressing. Thank you.
Thank you, Omar. Seeing we squeezed in two, I'll be very quick, and I didn't check how we go to the next slide. So I've only got one slide, I'm sorry, but I'll keep it very brief. This is a very simple problem to explain, but a very difficult problem and complex problem to solve. A lot of the companies I speak to, governments, mining organisations, facilities management companies, all run large fleet organisations and fleet management. While we have a solution to resolve the fuel payments for fuel, they can track the odometers to track that, they really struggle with all the other associated costs associated with managing fleet. These other costs, while they can track the fuel, it takes a lot of time in reconciling, managing and organising the other costs associated, and often those are separate from the fleet management. What we're looking at doing is working with some of the fintechs, because we can provide virtual payments and physical payments to capture the transactions, but we don't have the technology to consolidate all of these transactions into one pool. So if you think about fleet management, there's fuel, you'll track the odometer for the car. When's that associated with the services associated with the car? That's a separate process. The tyres, registration, tolls, all these other costs and transactions are always separate to the actual toll management. So a lot of companies or a lot of people in the AP and procurement who are managing this have a real struggle, and it takes a lot of resource and costs associated with managing all of these and pulling them all together so you can streamline those payments out to the customers, to the merchants. So what we're looking at doing is really those success criteria at the bottom there. Linking the fuel purchase to actual miles travelled. Is this on business? Is it associated with a business expense? Is it on a business platform? Time frame. Is it on a Saturday or Sunday? We've spoken to some out of the US where a lot of people are filling up their cars, their business cars on a Saturday, right? So if you've got a fuel card, it just lets the transaction go through because it's a fuel transaction, but is it actually a business transaction for fuel? Tracking the mileage, which supports managing the service. If you've got a large number of cars out there, you want to make sure they're being serviced regularly, so you're looking after that asset and the associated cost of that asset. Managing the tyres. You want to make sure that these things are being replaced. Think about all those mining companies that are out there with the big trucks with big tyres that cost a lot of money. You want to make sure they're being replaced regularly and you're not losing that resource to downtime. Separating fleet spend from the other associated costs of these employees as well. Making sure you're actually reimbursing for fleet and not others. Select repairs, maintenance of the vehicles and capturing those high flow diesel spend. And simple things like tracking the toll costs rather than having tolls separate out. Are they associated with that transaction? You can see the cars moved across there. That's a toll on a business expense. But we've got a solution to capture the individual transactions. But what companies are really looking is for a software platform to pull all these together so they can manage these in a more cost-effective process. Okay, thank you. Now I'm handing over to...
Back to me.
Back to you.
Thank you. Just to keep things exciting, continue to be exciting, I thought I'd ask ChatGPT for really lame jokes on fintechs and banks. So here's one. Why was the fintech and a bank in a complicated relationship? Banks want open APIs and fast innovation, but fintechs want open APIs and fast innovation, and banks still insist on faxing love letters and asking who approved this integration. One more. I apologize. Why did the bank break up with the fintech? It couldn't handle the speed and kept asking for a 5-day settlement period. Anyway, moving on, I'd like to introduce Laura Faulkner from X15 Ventures.
Thank you. X15 is the venture scaling arm of the Commonwealth Bank. What is a venture scaler? We're not a CVC fund. We don't make investments in the same way. Everything that we do is about deep strategic rationale and finding those opportunities that can help shape the future of CommBank. So we do that by build, buy, and invest. And we often are looking outside of X15 and CommBank for those types of opportunities, because the reality is that if we do something inside the bank, we're probably making it slower and more expensive, and great ideas are everywhere. So we've built a pathway to partnership for external companies to work with us and help them achieve partnership with a major bank sooner than they could otherwise. We do that through a program called Accelerate, but we can also work with companies kind of always on to identify those opportunities and get those proof of concepts shaped up. Did I go to, no, there we go. So what the thesis that I want to talk to you about today is solving the wealth challenge. We're all really aware of the cost of living crisis, the massive intergenerational wealth transfer that's coming. And frankly, we don't have the tools that customers want to support through this journey. So we're often having conversations about how can we bring those modern digital experiences to our customers in a way that leads to better financial outcomes for them that we can deliver safely. So what we're looking for is different tools that can do that. It needs to have a really cut-through proposition. I don't want to build it at the bank if I can, but we are looking for things that do stand out, that do things differently, and that can shake things up, bring a different business model, bring a different customer set, bring a different customer experience, and in some cases have some intellectual property behind how you've approached solving that problem. It needs to address a clear problem and a big problem, not super niche. In the wealth space, we have a customer base of 15 million, and ideally we want something that can get some big cut through across that customer base. It needs to be MVP stage. If it's idea stage, it's probably too early for us, but the advantage of coming to X15 versus directly to Commonwealth Bank is that we can work with even MVP stage opportunities and get a proof of concept off the ground in a way that group is comfortable with. And when companies come to us, it's not about pitching your company. I do not invest for financial return. I do not come from a banking background, and it was interesting, the first like 6 months I was there, I kept getting reminded, like, that is not the primary driver. What we're trying to achieve is the commercial value and the customer value. And so thinking about that differently, we're not here to listen to your startup pitch. We're not here to hear about the return on investment. We're here to be pitched a proof of concept, and we can help you shape what that proof of concept might look like. Most companies that come through the door end up with a very different shaped proof of concept than what they thought it was at the start, by having that engagement with group executives and really thinking through what it is. A good outcome is also realizing that partnership with a major bank is not right for your business. So very happy to be frank about reaching that quickly and easily, so that you can focus on other opportunities if that's what's best for your business. So that's X15. Very happy to chat with folks afterwards if you think that helping tackle the wealth challenge or anything else that would be relevant to X15 in the banking customer journey. I'm happy to talk afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. X15 Ventures also has an amazing, campaigns of their own where they have, the accelerator program. So, continue to follow them and see great opportunities to work with them. But thank you. No more jokes from me, unfortunately. But just wanted to quickly mention the deadline is the 10th of June, 2025. Okay. The QR code is up there, but you can go onto the website as well. And again, if you have any questions, please reach out via the app, via the website, or connect with them directly after. Allow them some time to breathe and have a drink as well. Once after the deadline, of course, the banks will take their time, so about 4 to 6 weeks to review all the applications, and we'll hopefully get some update from the banks. So I wish you all the best. Lastly, and again, thank you so much to our sponsors, Investment New South Wales and Vanta, to our supporters, COBA, the Customer Owned Banking Association, and our participating banks, Beyond Bank, Citi, and X15 Ventures. And of course, thank you all for joining us today. Always happy to host you, and I hope this is productive and you have the opportunity to connect and network. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening.